It's Tuesday morning in the fabulous Florida Keys. I'm Gary McAdams with eXp Realty. It's a little bit windy today and very cloudy, but that's okay. This seems to be the norm for Florida the last week or so. However, you have to keep in mind a cloudy, windy day in Key West still beats a beautiful sunny day in Detroit every time. I've been starting my video off lately with the Florida Keys history theme, Today in History, and today's history trivia lesson really brings out the Boston boy in me. It involves the Boston Red Sox baseball great Ted Williams, and a perfect day for it right after the Boston Celtics just won another world championship last night. On this day, June 18th in 1967, Boston Red Sox great Ted Williams won the 5-day Islamorada Gold Cup Topping Tournament. Ted Williams had a beautiful home right on the water in Islamorada, and every year up until they got too old to do it, Ted Williams, President Bush the father, and the Massachusetts President of Senate, Billy Bulger, used to come down every year and go fishing for about a week. So there's your Florida Keys history and your Boston history all in one today. This is my morning market MLS update video I do every day right about this same time. I report all the new listings in Key West and the lower Keys that have come on the market in the last 24 hours. That's anything from Big Pine Key down to Key West. If you watch this video every day, you will know about all the new listings the same day the realtors know about them. That'll put you ahead of most buyers. I find most buyers wait for a home to come onto Zillow before they inquire about it, and the problem they face there is by the time Zillow puts a home live online, it's usually been on the multiple listing service a couple days and all the good deals are already under contract. You can also get a much more detailed description of these listings, including photos, if you follow my blog, keywestinvesting.com. I'll put that web address in the description below, and I update that every day as well, right from the MLS, including photos. There's a lot more information on the homes in the blog, a lot more details, any unique features the home might have. I'll list room descriptions, room dimensions. There'll be photos of the inside of the home, photos of the outside of the home. If the home happens to be waterfront, there'll be photos of the water view, photos of the boat dockage. It's just a lot more information than I can cram into a couple-minute quick YouTube video. Again, that web address is keywestinvesting.com, and it's updated every day from the Florida Keys multiple listing service, including photos. If you like this video, please let me know. Click that thumbs up and like symbol down below. If you want to see more videos of this nature and keep current with the Florida Keys real estate market so you'll know what's being listed at what prices, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do a video just like this every morning. Make sure you stay to the end of the video. I'm currently running an offer right now where I will contribute $1,000 of my commission to go towards your closing costs. But you have to wait to the end of the video to hear about that. That offer expires at the end of this month, June 30th, so you want to make sure you stay and hear about it. We have 8 great listings to talk about today that came on the market between Key West and the lower Keys. 7 of the 8 are actually in Key West and 1 is in Big Pine. But before I tell you about the listings, the state of Florida's legal department makes me cover the boring stuff. The information I'm about to give you comes directly from the Florida Keys multiple listing service. I'm not accepting any responsibility for any of these listings. I'm not claiming any of these listings to be my own listings. And I'm not accepting any responsibility if there's any inaccuracies in any of the information I give you. I'm simply reading it to you right from the Florida Keys multiple listing service. The first house is in Key West's Old Town neighborhood, about a half block off Duval Street on Amelia Street. It's a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. It's 1,200 square feet, and it has off-street parking for 2 cars, which is a major feature in that neighborhood. Parking down there can be really difficult if you don't have private parking in your home. This one's being offered at $2,450,000, which is an excellent price for a house that location with parking for 2 vehicles. Then also in Key West's Old Town neighborhood on William Street, which is about 3 blocks off Duval Street. This section of William Street is one of the more desirable blocks in Old Town. There's a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 1,943 square foot house. It's a great location. Simple walk to Duval Street. It's a simple walk to the Key West Historic Seaport and the waterfront dining. The only downside of this one is there is no off-street parking, and parking can be tough down in that neighborhood. Then we go to Passover Lane. There's a compound-style house right across from the Key West Cemetery. Very quiet neighborhood, still walkable to Duval Street or a very simple bike ride. This is a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bathroom, 2,392 square foot house. It has a separate detached guest house, making it the perfect house to have company or entertaining. And there's also off-street parking for 2 cars, which, staying on that same theme, that's very valuable in Old Town and Key West. Then we go to Key West's Newtown neighborhood to Fogarty Ave. This home is listed saying it's a duplex, but the Monroe County tax record lists it as a single-family home. So if you were interested in this home and were looking at it for the duplex purposes for rental, you would definitely want to check it out with the Monroe County property appraiser's record when you were still in your due diligence inspection period. I know this listing agent pretty well, and I can't imagine him putting inaccurate information in there, but still, for my own peace of mind, if you're buying it through me, I would want to check it out with the Monroe County property appraiser. The duplex has a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom each side. It totals 1,594 square feet. It could be a great opportunity for some rental income. You could have 2 tenants, or you could live in one side and rent out the other side to subsidize your income. Or you could turn it back into a single-family house and have a great 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house for only $795,000, which is extremely low priced in Key West for a house that size. Then also in Key West's Newtown neighborhood on Flagler Ave, we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,899 square foot house, which is a very large house for Key West. It has a circular driveway, which is extremely good for being on Flagler Ave. The only downside of this house is Flagler Ave is a very busy traffic street. So it's difficult to back a car out of a driveway onto Flagler, but with the circular driveway, you can pull out real easy. However, being on Flagler, it could get pretty noisy with all of the traffic. That's the only negative there. But a house this size being offered at $925,000 is an excellent buy. Then we go to a condo in a condo complex called Santa Clara on Northside Drive. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 792 square foot condo. It's being offered at $485,000. Santa Clara is one of the places you'll see me do what you very rarely see realtors do. I'm going to tell you not to buy this one. Don't look at it. Little history on Santa Clara. When it was originally being built, it was going to be elderly housing, senior citizen housing. And the developer put up the shell and the rebar, and it was just rough construction, raw concrete and rebar sticking out. And they ran out of money, and it sat there for a little over 10 years with the rebar exposed to the salt water. This building's probably only about 300 yards from the harbor. Salt water and concrete, and salt water and steel, I should say. Salt water and steel are not friends, and the building had a lot of what they call spalling. If you're not familiar with the term spalling, that's when the rebar rusts, and when any metal rusts, it expands. And when the rebar expanded, it knocked out some of the concrete. In this case, it knocked out a lot of the concrete. The city of Key West had a big vote on it, whether or not they were going to have the building repaired or if they were just going to condemn the building. And I've been told by a couple of city officials the only reason they didn't condemn it is a large portion of the Key West workforce lives in Santa Clara. Almost all of Santa Clara is year-round working families. Very, very few of them are vacation homes. And they didn't want to displace that many working locals, so they did repair it. That being said, each unit had a couple $100,000 assessment on it, and they're still today doing work on it. They've been doing work on this building for a couple of years now, and there's just too many unknowns for my liking. You never know if the repairs were done right. You never know if the rebar is totally cured. You never know if the concrete spalling is going to come back. I would not buy a unit in one of these. In this building, I'm sorry, I kind of a little bit of a tongue twister there. I would not buy a unit in Santa Clara. I've only sold one of them since they found out about the spalling issue, and I actually insisted that the buyer signed an addendum to the contract saying they were buying this property against realtor advice. That was just for my own protection because I didn't want to hear from their lawyer a couple of years from now. The next one is a condo in Paradise Cove, also on Northside Drive. This one is a great condo. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's 952 square feet. Each unit has their own private deeded parking space. It's more set up like a townhome than it is like condos. Each unit has their own small private backyard. It's 2 floors. The bedrooms are upstairs and the living area is downstairs. It's being offered at only $625,000, which is an excellent price. My only concern with these townhomes is the HOA fee is only $70 a month, which sounds like that's great. $70 a month for an HOA or a condo fee. That's almost unheard of. But what about their reserves? What's the financial status of the HOA where they're only charging that much money and there's only about a dozen or so units on the property? I would definitely, while you're under your due diligence inspection period, take a good hard look at the condo's financial status and mostly their reserves. The reserves are what they use if any unexpected maintenance on the building comes up, if the roof needs to be replaced, the building needs to be resided, the concrete needs to be resurfaced, anything that needs to be done on it that's all common area maintenance, not the individual unit, that money comes out of the reserves. If there is no money in the reserves, which could very well be the case at $70 a month times a dozen or so units, every owner gets an assessment and they have to pay that right then and there on the spot. Or if they have any time at all, they have very little time to pay that. So if they do have good reserves and good financials, it's an excellent property at an excellent price. But I would want to look at that while you're in your due diligence period. Then the last listing would go up to Big Pine Key. This is one of the best price houses I've seen in Big Pine in a long time. It's in a subdivision called Pine Channel Estates. It's on the canal. Pine Channel Estates is one of the more desirable subdivisions in Big Pine Key because it has excellent boating. The canals are deeper. The controlling depth coming in and out of the canal out into Pine Channel is a lot deeper. One of the local charter boat companies is located in Pine Channel Estates, and they have a roughly 50-foot Hatteras sport fisherman that they get in and out of there at all tides. So there's very good boating there, and the ongoing joke with the realtors is with bigger boats comes bigger houses with bigger price tags. The lots in Pine Channel Estate are also usually a little bit bigger than most of the lower keys. Most of them are 7,500 square feet and up to 10,000 square feet. Some of them are even 15,000 square feet. The houses are a little bit more upscale and that great boating. This one's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,592 square foot condo. And it's on Forrestal Ave, which is the last street back in Pine Channel Estates. So it's a lot quieter than most. It's the furthest away from the main US 1. Excellent boating, and there's nothing on the other side of the street. The back of the street just backs up to one side of the street, the back of the house is one side of it, just backs up to the Salt Estuary with a channel view. This one's being offered at $1,675,000, which is extremely low for a house of this nature in Pine Channel Estates. That's all we have for today. If you want to see any of these homes or any home anywhere in the fabulous Florida Keys, give me a call at 305-731-0501. Now, as promised, my offer to contribute $1,000 of my commission to go right towards your closing costs. If you buy or sell any home with me between now and June 30th of this year, 2024, I will contribute $1,000 of my commission to go towards your closing costs. It'll be credited to you right at closing. I know being June 18th now, it's very, very unlikely you'll close by June 30th. So I'm going to bump that out just a little bit. You do not have to close by June 30th. If you're selling the home, the listing agreement just has to be signed by June 30th. If you're buying the home, the contract for purchase and sale just has to be signed by June 30th. Then we can go ahead and close after June 30th, 2024, and I will still make good on that $1,000 commitment. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to showing you homes in the fabulous Florida Keys. More importantly, I look forward to making you my neighbor. I'm Gary McAdams with eXp Realty.